for being late. Okay? All right, so let's see. Where did my, okay. All right, good morning everyone. Today we're having our topic on learning language by using it through content-based instruction, okay? And I have given you a couple minutes to discuss with your partners going over content-based instruction. What can you tell me about what you've learned from previewing the lesson? Volunteers, and again, 2 points for volunteering and sharing your thoughts. Anyone? Yes, Melody. You use a language to learn something. Very good. And that something should be English? Should it be English or?
It could be other subjects.
It's a non-language subject. Could be other subject, other content. Very good, Melody. Anyone else would like to add? What can you tell me about this approach or method of content-based instruction? Anything that you learned from this chapter alone? Yes, Claire. Very good point. I'm going to give you 3 points on that because, you know, it's a dual approach where the focus is not just on content, not only on language, but both, a bit of both. Both content and language are the focus. It's a dual focus for content-based instruction. And Claire has also given the reason why it's dual focus. It's because, why is it? Can anyone else tell me why is it dual approach? Okay, I would like you to discuss with your study pairs, study partners, why is it a dual approach? All right, volunteers? Yes, Valora.
And learn language and content at the same time. And it can have many different ways to teach in different situations.
Very good, thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone else would like to add to that? Maybe a scenario or example provided on in the text. Valora again? Or who else would like to try? Shelley, you wanted to try? No? Other than Valora? Okay, Valora, go ahead.
In this topic, it shares about the Taiwan's class, and it is learning geography and English at the same time. And first, teacher asks them what is growth, and students answer in many different ways. And teacher then show up a growth, the authentic things in front of students. Students can tell her what is that. And also, teacher use one technique. I think it is called click focus to let students to listen to one article first, and then get the main idea first, and then listen second time to write down the subject.
Very good. Thank you for providing out the detail of that lesson plan. Good job. Let's give her a round of applause. Really nice. And you would be surprised that, I don't know if you're surprised or not, but I'm surprised that Taiwanese classroom is described in this chapter. And the reason why I'm choosing this chapter as the first chapter to introduce is because right now we're pushing for bilingual education for the past 5 years, and we have adopted the CLIL approach, but not content-based instruction, but it's similar. And in the text, in the chapter, there's a comparison between content-based instruction and CLIL, okay? And I don't know what you think, but Claire mentioned that the reason why people or teachers have adopted content-based instruction is that perhaps in the United States, you know, they have a lot of students who immigrated to the United States. And remember, like back in 2017, when Maddie was only 4th grade, I was in the States. I was at UCF as a research scholar for 1 year, where Maddie studied in 4th grade for the whole year. Okay, so for Maddie, he would be a ESOL student because Chinese is his native language and it's a whole new environment for him. What if I put you in that situation, throw you into a US classroom when you were 9 years old? What do you think? Would you be able to understand what's going on in the classroom? Perhaps a bit difficult, right? So let me tell you this. So for the first month of Maddie's schooling, you know, after the teacher parent conference, the 2 teachers that he had told me that Maddie wasn't saying anything in class. He wasn't speaking English. All he spoke was "zhe zhe zhe, zhe zhe zhe, zhe zhe zhe," and that coming from an English or an American teacher's mouth, "zhe zhe zhe," the teacher learned Chinese. And they were really good at it. So Maddie was pointing to everything, to the book, and then the teacher learned instead. So for that whole month, what Maddie did was just listening in, participating, not knowing whether or not he understands. So that's the problem for ESOL students without help, right? Because if the school was not providing extra help to Maddie, then how would you ensure an immigrant or student is learning in class, right? So they came up with a content-based instruction approach, where because if Maddie sat in the class without support, then he would be learning the content alone. So content-based instruction approach would be the teacher not only teaching the content, but also the language as well, okay? So that Maddie would understand what's going on in class, but provided with the language support, okay? So, but a long story short, when did Maddie start talking? It was because of one lunch cafeteria activity that the kids were playing. Did I mention this to you? It's called Kiss, Kill, Marry. Have you heard of this activity? So his classmates was playing Kiss, Kill, Marry, and he wanted to participate, so he started talking. For example, Sydney, I'm gonna give you 3 people, and you'll need to tell me who would you like to kiss, who would you like to kill, who would you like to marry. Okay? Donald Trump, Obama, Ronald Reagan. All of them are U.S. presidents. Yeah. Kiss, kill, marry. It's just a fun game. Kill Donald Trump. Kiss Obama, marry Ronald Reagan. Okay, thank you. So that's because he wanted to participate in this activity, and so he started talking. Anyways, content-based instruction. So there's a strong version of the communicative, this is a strong version of the communicative approach, okay? And I started off with a strong version of communicative approaches because I believe in this approach, okay? To tell the truth, although I'm the advisor for a publishing company for elementary school textbook, I don't want to name that company or the publisher because I'm filming it. I do not believe in communicative language teaching because I think that CLT is very limited. Remember Mr. Paul's lesson, and they only, in his class, they only stressed on what? What would you like to eat? I would like some pizza, please. This kind of conversation, right? So I think although Mr. Paul have set up an excellent creepy store, shop, or stand, and there's engaging students in communication in class, pretending to be selling the items on the menu and interacting with customers, I think that conversation is not very authentic and not very useful. Okay, so the strong version, the weaker version is traditional methods focus on learning to use English. Students practice predetermined linguistic forms to eventually communicate. So CLT, communicative language teaching, would be a weak version. Mr. Paul's class is CLT. What is the predetermined linguistic form in his lesson? What was the predetermined linguistic form that he was practicing with his students? Raise your hand. Remember, some of you were typing up your critiques up until 2 o'clock in the morning. I was still awake. What was the linguistic form that Mr. Paul was teaching his class and having his students practice? Melody? Yeah. Yes, what would you like to eat? So that's a predetermined linguistic form practiced through CLT, okay? I just mentioned that, so I'm assuming that you know what I'm asking, okay? So for the strong version, the CBI focus on using English to learn it. Using English to learn the content, okay? And language is acquired through communication rather than practicing for it. So because they need to learn the content, so this is the approach that we're adopting right now. Even though Taiwan is using CLIL, it's the same. It's the same because CLIL is also using English to learn content, okay? Rather than practicing for it. Priority is given to conveying meaning over linguistic drills. So when you're discussing, having group discussions, you're talking about content instead of just practicing the language, okay? This is so embarrassing, but I'm trying this because I'm also teaching teachers how to create slides using Gemini, and I'm going to also show you how, because you guys are presenting as well, and I'm looking forward to your own slides with your own cute version of icons, okay? So for defining the methodology, content-based instruction integrates language learning with non-language content, and that's what Melody was saying, integrating language learning with using language to learn something else. And that something else is non-language content. So can we use CPI for just English only? It's not English only. It's using, so what kind of content could it be? Or would you be interested in learning in content-based instruction? I would like you to discuss with your partners. If you were to teach content-based instruction, or as a student, what would you be interested in learning?
That's your own preference.
And how to make them. Wow.
All right. Volunteers. Valor. Yoga. Astronomy. Wow. I like astronomy too. Yes. Art. Learning arts. Okay, very good. What?
Different history or course.
Wow, history, learning history. Oh my God, history was a nightmare for Maddie. Because in social studies, when he was in 4th grade, the first unit of their social studies was symbols of Florida. So for Florida, do you know what those symbols are for Florida? Citrus, crocodile, very good. Jeremy, 2 points, Max 2 points. So those are symbols. But the second unit was the Constitution of the United States. The right to bear arms. The right to bear arms. It's their right to have their own guns. And I was so surprised because there was a mass killing massacre going on in the United States at the time. But when I sent Maddie to school, the teacher at the counter was I was voicing my views of why do people own guns, and that lady told me we have to protect ourselves, so she owns a gun as well. So it's a common practice. Even teachers have guns. So the right to bear arms. Anyway, so Hank, history, and yeah, that would be interesting. Anyone else? Yes, Grace. Pete? Oh, PE and performing arts. Very good. Volleyball? To tell the truth, in the past, back in year 2019, our students went over to Kagoshima University, the affiliated junior high school, and they taught volleyball to their students. Yes? The lyrics of the songs in music class? Okay, good. Science, you like science? Of course, you're a science major. I love science too, yes? Well, what would you teach? Badminton. I like badminton.
Geography.
Geography. You like geography? Kind of. Cooking, yeah. I love cooking class as well because we get to taste the food in a cooking class. You know, don't you think it would be more interesting if we could teach content-based instruction at the elementary school level? Right? The classes would be a lot of fun instead of just rote memorization of sentence pattern. Right? Okay? So in Europe, this is known as content and language integrated learning. Marsh defines it as a dual focus. Dual focus context where an additional language is the medium for teaching and learning non-language content. So basically, an additional language in Taiwan would be the English language. But for CLIL, can you use CLIL to teach in Taiyu, Taiwanese. Would that be CLIL too? Using Taiwanese to teach science, using Taiwanese to teach PE, cooking, history. Would that be CLIL too? No? Why not? Anyone? Yes, Laura?
Because we already do in our listening.
Because 你刚会晓讲台语，会晓一点点，上袂晓讲台语。你看，Cindy 袂晓讲台语，安尼 Cindy 若是，我嘛袂晓讲台语 ，I can't either. So, anyways, for Cindy, content-based CLIL using Taiwanese is a good approach, and maybe for a lot of young language learners, such as Maddie, he doesn't know a bit of Taiwanese. It's so sad, because I can speak Taiwanese, I can comprehend Taiwanese and speak a little Taiwanese because I grew up with my grandma, okay? And my grandma lived to be 102, that was when she passed away. But I get to practice my Taiwanese, okay? So an additional language, it doesn't have to be English, it could be an additional language. Any other language than the native language. In Taiwan, our official language is Mandarin Chinese. So Hakka and Taiwanese could also be the additional language. Although for some people, Hakka and Taiwanese is their native language, right? But anyways, so dual focus. Okay, so designing a dual objective. This is the hardest part. And in Taiwan, there was a great debate, a huge one, and it was in the news, whether or not when content teachers are teaching the content using English, should they have a language objective? And some professors say, no, there should not be a language objective. What do you think? In CLIL or content-based instruction, there should be a dual focus, both content and language. So there should be a content language and a content objective and a language objective. Okay, before I send you out for discussion, I like to show you why or how should we set up a content objective and a language objective. Although I really don't understand the equation. So solve quadratic equations, addressing mathematic knowledge and skills. Do you know what this is? Okay. Are anyone good at math? No. Okay, so solving the equations using mathematic knowledge and skills, this is the content outcome, which is the content objective. The content objectives is students will be able to solve quadratic equations, and that's the content objective. What about the language objective? Discuss different methods of solving the same equation and write a summary. That would be the language objective. So not only do they need to solve it, but they need to describe using different methods of solving this equation. Okay, so that's, and being able to tell how they solve this in English, that would be the language objective. Wow. So imagine we are in a math class, and who's really good at math? Hank? Alan? Yeah, Hank and Alan, can you come up with a math problem? It doesn't have to be very, very, very complicated. Elementary math is okay. It doesn't have to be equation. Are you thinking? Max? No? Try to.
X to the power of
to the power of 10? Power of 2? Equals 4. Solve x. Okay? So volunteer answering this? No. The answer is 2. And how do you know it's 2? Anyone? Very good. So you see, even learning in math, math, through content-based instruction or through CLIL, you've got the chance to know the language of mathematics. So what Max has given us, how do you say x to the power of 2 equals 4? And for some of us who are not mathematicians or would like to stay away from math, perhaps we don't know how to express this in English, right? How many of you know x to the power of 2? Raise your hand. Nobody? But Laura knows, yay. Sam knows, and Max knows, and very good. Sydney also knows. All right, so good. So that's why it's interesting when it comes to learning English, using English to learn math. Don't you think it's interesting? No. All right, so let me ask you. So the great debate in Taiwan is, for example, today Max is a math teacher, and he's a mathematician, and he teaches in junior high school. Okay, but he's going to teach mathematics in English because it's a CLIL approach or CLIL approach. So my question is, does math need to set up a math objective and a language objective, English learning objective? Okay, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to discuss. What's the pros and cons of having dual language? Does it, because normally if Max teaches in Chinese, all he needed to do is set up a content objective in math, right? But now, since he's teaching using CBI or CLIL, he had to set up a language objective as well, because x to the power of 2 is not something we are familiar with, okay? But in Taiwan, some professors and teachers argue that Max is a math teacher and Max is not an English teacher. So Max does not know how to set up language objectives. Oops. So what do you think? What do you think? All right, 3 minutes discussion.
Not everything needs to be.
All right. So what are your thoughts? Yes? Max?
The pros and cons.
Yeah, anything.
The good thing about dual approach is you can learn math and you can learn the language at the same time.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's a little too hard for students like in elementary school or junior high because math is already hard. You don't need to make it harder.
You don't need to make it hard. Okay. Yes.
I beg to differ.
Oh,
I
very
think
good.
that
Really?
elementary school and math in elementary and junior high are exceptionally easy.
Exceptionally easy.
Like 1 plus 1 and 2 plus 2. Like how can you not learn it?
Although as
Like so I think that it's a must to involve the English objective, since that it's already easy and math is already a standalone language in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Like it's made up of symbols, and for students they just have to learn a bit more, like what this symbol can stand for in another language.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Yes?
It may be a little bit complicated for the teacher to do the evaluation
It might be complicated to do the evaluation because,
because you have to evaluate for the content and the language.
okay, so you disagree having both objectives.
Now,
What
I
do you
think
want to keep?
I think it's good, but it has its cons.
It has it's the challenging,
Yeah.
it has its challenges for teachers who adopt this. It would be, the challenge would be the assessment part. I agree. Anyone else? Yes, Melora.
I agree with Sam, because I think in elementary schools, math, I think it is relatively easier from junior high school or senior high school.
Melora is good at math.
No. No. Because I studied in bilingual class when I was in senior high school.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but-
why. No wonder.
No, because our homework teacher is math teacher, and
Oh, and he teaches.
Yes.
He taught
he
in
used his worst
English?
to teach
worst
us.
English to teach math.
to teach us math, and because I'm really bad at math, and I don't know.
Is it because you learned it in English?
So
No.
I'm bad at math when I'm in senior high school.
Oh, okay.
Junior high school.
Junior high school.
And-
But you became good at math because you learned it in English. Wow!
I didn't say that. Yeah, so I mean, like students like me, is bad at math, and our teacher use other language to teach math. So I can learn this subject, and then also I can't learn the English of this subject. So I think it is not suitable for senior high school teachers to set up content objective and also language objective.
So you think they only need to set up content objective and not the language objective?
I think in senior high school we don't teach English with we don't teach math with this with English.
Okay, yeah, because we avoid these exam subjects in Taiwan. But what about arts? People, what are your views? What about arts? What about PE? What about science? Melody?
Has this
math is not a good subject to use English to teach, but other subject, maybe it can. It's like I think like PE or cooking. Like that is more like a skill, and I think students can learn from seeing what teachers are doing. And this kind of subject, I think using English might be okay.
But do they need to set up a language objective for those classes?
I think it can
Yes.
set a language objective.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. That's a great debate. I think for some of you who agree with having a dual focus, but some of you disagree, especially in mathematics. So this was the Taipei classroom that Laura had mentioned. It's a 6th grade geography class at an international school in Taipei, lower intermediate English proficiency, and they studied geography, and the hook is the teacher brought up a globe and talked about the globe, and then they discussed about where Taipei is longitudinally in terms of coordinates. Can you look up the coordinates of Taiwan? I'm gonna, with your partner, I'm gonna give you this task. The coordinates of Taiwan. The grammar point was the city, or Taipei. The city is located at, okay? All right, let's. All right, that's the bell. Or we're gonna pause right here. Let's take a brief break, and when we come back, we'll go over this answer. All right? Thank you. All right. Who can tell me the coordinates of Taipei City? Yes, Cindy? Thank you. And actually, I think you could actually use ChatGPT and ask it the same thing. Hello?
Hey there, I'm right here. What's on your mind?
What are the coordinates for Taipei City?
Taipei City is roughly at about 25.03 degrees north latitude and 121.56 degrees east longitude. That'll place you right in the heart of Taiwan's capital.
Yay, thank you.
You're welcome. Otherwise, just give me a shout.
Okay. So the way to express coordinates is 25 degrees north latitude and 121 degrees east latitude. Okay. So that's what we learned from this lesson, and integrating grammar naturally, because the closed test was in past perfect tense. Oh, and highlighting specific grammatical patterns in the present passive tense. Phrases like are located, are called. So Taipei City is located at 25 degrees north latitude and 120 something degrees east longitude, right? So that's in that way. Right now, if I say I would like you to report different cities, then you would know how to report the coordinates by practicing within your group. So normally for a CBI class, perhaps I would go ahead and put you in groups, your pairs, and please tell each other the coordinates of Taipei City. Go. Coordinates of Taipei City. Using this sentence pattern. Taipei City is located Okay, my next task is, if you could use your ChatGPT, ask about one city where you're from or you want to visit. Some people aren't from Taipei. Okay. One city that you're from, or a city that you would like to visit, the coordinates. Ask ChatGPT. The best thing about AI is that you can utilize it for a CBI class. That way, we're cheating because we don't need to look at the globe and look for coordinates. We can actually and share your answer with your partner. If you're ready, you may volunteer your answer. Max, Taoyuan, Jeremy, China. Look it up. No, what? Not Mako. Where? Kuxi. I've never been there. Where is it? All right, volunteers. Okay, go ahead. Melody and Valora is earning a lot of points, which means that they're setting the ceiling. You know how I calculate 15 points in class participation. Go ahead.
Union City is located at 23 degrees north latitude and 120 degrees east.
Yay! Good job! Melody, okay, Valora.
Penghu is located at 23.5 degrees north latitude and 119 degrees east.
119 degree east longitude, pretty east of Taiwan. Very good. Hank.
Kingman is located 24.3.
Or 24.3.
Yes, and 118.2.
118 point east longitude, and Penghu is
119.
so 18 and 19. So you're further closer to Taiwan. Mainland China. Mainland China. I thought Kingman is closer to. What?
Kingman is closer than to China, and
Kingman is closer to mainland China.
and
And
Penghu is more closer to Taiwan.
but why is the longitude like different?
Because we are We are 120 to 122.
Uh-huh.
So we are
When you go east, and the number will be bigger.
When you go east, the number will be bigger, so you are 119 and 118. So this is why I'm confused, because 119 is closer to China. No? Closer to Taiwan? Oh, so the further east, the number goes down? Up?
I 100.
What? So confusing. Don't let me teach this. 119 and 118?
Yeah, everything is 100.
And Yunli is 120. Oh, so Yunli is Taiwan, and then this is Bohu, and this is. Oh, now I understand. Thank you for teaching me. I cannot reach the content objective because I suck at it. So that's the problem of language teacher teaching content, and that would be a problem, right? Okay. All right, so, and that was a bit of fun. Laughing at myself, not being able to teach geography. Integrating, okay. So, and you've all gone through this dicto class and for the teacher reading this, and we're going to have a similar activity in the following lesson that I'm demoing, so that you know what to expect when you're demoing the lesson. So point 1, dual goals. Teacher wants students to master both language and content simultaneously. Even teachers don't know how to master a content object. So the language teacher needs to be very much prepared for the content, being able to teach the content. But if you're a subject teacher, you need to be able to teach the language. Okay. Teacher sets clear objective, creates activities and scaffolding which necessary for the student studying the content. And so that's why I asked you for ChatGPT AI support. That would be a scaffolding that I suggested you to ask AI to provide. And the student's role is engage actively with both language and the medium to explore subject matter. In that case, is you now are able to report the longitude and latitude, the coordinates of a city of your own choice, right? And it's an interesting discussion, right? Gonghu, Kingman, and Jiayi. Now I know. And so, mastering discourse organization. What is discourse organization? So for the reporting of the longitude and the coordinates, longitude and latitude, that's a discourse. We need to report these two numbers in a certain way. Okay, so that's called a discourse organization. That's one example. And CPI relies heavily on authentic text. Teachers use visual, relia, and repetition to make meaning clear. And I remember Claire asked a question, what does repetition mean? And in that case, remember I was asking everyone to report a city, a coordinate of a city of a choice. Once you listen to that framework or structure of reporting, that listening to one city to another and having listened to 4 cities now, that was the repetition. And in that way, you're familiar with reporting the coordinates of that city. And we had a very interesting discussion of where it's located in the latitude. Isn't that interesting? Okay. And that's used to. So language varies heavily by subject, and specific language and discourse organization of mathematics, solving problem summarizing method differs entirely from the language of history, analyzing cause, detailing events. CPI teachers actively highlight how language is used to deliver content in the specific academic domains. So if you're teaching history, it's different. The discourse of presentation would be chronological sometimes, right? Or by major, or by people, or by events. And it would be all in the past tense. But science science major. When you're reporting science, when you're observing, it's the present tense. When you're reporting your lab data, it's the past tense, right? When you report the procedure, it's a past progressive, okay? Or present progressive, present passive, okay? Anyways, so everyday language is, daily conversation, but in terms of CPI, the academic language is different in different subjects. Math is different from science, different from history, different from geography, etc. Okay? So that's why it's very interesting to learn using CBI. What about the evaluation? So basically, students are evaluated on both their knowledge of the academic content and the language ability. Perhaps I have the language ability of reporting the coordinates, but how do you know that I know that where we're in Keepan City? If you compare 3 different cities, I would fail that test, right? So you need to be able to, like Shelley mentioned, assess both the content and the language. And you need to create an assessment so that you could test Professor Jane and notice that she fails in the content objective, comparing the locations of different cities. But so you have to have a very creative assessment. Responding to errors. Teachers respond to errors by providing the correct form and allowing self-correction. And thanks, Sydney, for reporting the coordinates of Taipei City, but how did I provide feedback to her? I utilized ChatGPT, and so we could listen to how we report. But it was my bad because I had to go, there was not enough repetition before I'm inviting you to speak. So there should be a repetition, or I should have provided you more examples before I invite you to speak. So basically, errors are noted and content is recycled, ensure students learn English easily. All right, so sheltered language instruction. I just had a webinar on sheltered language instruction, sheltered instruction observation protocol, and this is a protocol to ensure how teachers could facilitate learners learning, and it's very structured. It's got various principles, and we don't have time for that. Perhaps I'll cover that in the CLIL, in the lessons that we're going to go over CLIL. The adjunct model used at the university level, and in the chapter, CPIs right now, currently in the United States, many universities adopts this level, adopts this method because, and using the adjunct model, because once they are enrolled in regular academic course, a linked language course is provided, and that's the CPI. For example, if you're taking aerodynamics, then for foreign students who go to US to study, perhaps they would have a CPI language course linked to aerodynamics so that they're preparing the student to be able to participate and engage in the course more fully, okay? So that's the adjunct model. Sorry, I'm going through this very fast because I noticed I spent too much time having fun with you. The whole language philosophy. So CPI adopts a whole language philosophy. So what does a whole language philosophy mean? It means that you are immersed in 100% using the target language, using a top-down approach. Meaning first, students attempt to understand the overall meaning of the text before working on linguistic forms comprising it. Language is regarded holistically. So I think just like Max mentioned, Max, can you reiterate your comment on being a math teacher, not setting language objective?
If you already have a content objective, for example, like quadratic function, when you're moving on to solving the questions, I think the students will automatically obtain or acquire how to say take x to the power of 2 equals 4x as example, the student will automatically acquire how to say the power of something, x to the power of something. This saying out of like naturally. You don't have to like set up a language objective addition.
Okay, thank you very much. And so what Max is taking is the top-down approach because he believes that there's language shouldn't have to be given or taught at a bottom-up approach. A bottom-up approach to this mathematics class is I would teach you to the power of this language form. Okay, so I would pre-teach it, but for Max, he would just naturally teach the mathematics without explaining the language. So let me test you, and Max will check the answer for us. Let me teach you 3 to the power of 2. The answer is only 2 hands. Yes, Grace. What? 9? Okay. Grace, can you give us another example? Two to the power of 4. 16. Okay. Right? Okay, good. So now you're familiar with this. And I think only Melody, Valora, Grace, Hank, who else answered me silently? All right, notice this. So that's top-down and bottom-up approach. Okay, how many of you believe in top-down approach and bottom-up approach? I would like you to discuss with your group members, your partners. Do you believe that this is a valid approach for you as a learner? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes only. One person shares 1 minute.
Let me tell you, CLT, Mr. Paul's lesson is bottom up. Okay, time's up. Please stand up and find someone who is not your partner and share your view. Find someone with the opposite position or thought that you have. Opposite. Go. Stand up. Move around. Nobody sits.
I don't think I caught that. And that situation only that particular only works in math because math is like that. Like just Yeah.
We will do many like exercises. Little exercises.
So, okay. You can go on. That you support top. So you like you can.
What about you? Bottom up, okay, good. Share your.
But my point is that you can't actually just learn something by not knowing what that is.
Let me think. You're a top down person. No, you're actually bottom up?
Yeah.
Really?
Because you can't actually just know something like.
I'm not sure if you learn through bottom up. I think you acquire language from top down.
Maybe, but it's different from concept. And I always think that concept is actually more important than to me, top down is simply.
All right, please go back to your seats.
No, it's top down. Top down is go for.
All right, who would like to share your views? I think most people. How many of you goes for a top-down approach? Raise your hand. Okay, how many of you goes for a bottom-up approach? Okay, so it's like 3-2, something like that. So, anyone would like to share your thoughts on top-down and bottom-up approach? Grace, go ahead.
I'm approving the bottom-up approach because I think if you gave students an overall meaning, they might not be able to understand in the beginning because we're using other languages, right? So it's hard for them to understand in the first steps. So we have to like teaching them small pieces and make sure them understand the little things and then make them understand the whole pieces.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Claire?
I agree to what Grace said because my school is also a traditional bottom-up school. So I only learn things from the elements. And I think it's important to construct the knowledge from just pieces of elements, and then you can understand it in a different ways. So in my school for this math, of course we need to learn how to how to kind of cut down to pieces like what that power of is and what x, how x can do such equation and to extend it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, who's for a top-down approach? Would like to share? Top-down? Anyone? Sam?
Well, I think it depends in different contexts.
Here.
And
I
people
like
who
your,
use
I
it.
like that you think that it's, depends on the content.
Yeah, and I think in elementary school I would prefer bottom up because they don't have the, like most of them don't have the basic knowledge of something, and that top down would suit better, would suit someone who's better at that thing, you know, because you can't just like using math's example. Math is a really like something to the power of something is a really standard and things that won't change. So 3 to the power of 2 and 2 to the power of 3, it's just you just have to change the place of the words, but the meaning of it and how you do the math is almost all the same. Like by that you could learn something to the power of something, but in other case you can't just do something and then it generates the same meaning out there.
Oh, so you're saying learning math through English is actually simpler.
Yeah.
But you still think that learning math, you can learn math through a top-down approach.
Yeah.
Because mathematics is a universal language.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I thought you were going for you
Yeah,
mentioned for elementary school students because of their English proficiency. You think starting from bottom up would be more suitable for elementary school students. Okay.
Yeah, they have to stack up their knowledge first to understand something.
All right, thank you for the views. So in Taiwan, we're not adopting CBI. It's a bit different. CBI, although this method is, they said it's a dual focus, emphasizing both content and language. But it's more of I think it's more of a language approach and teaching content. So CBI classes are mainly language classes. But for CLIL, it's a dual focused, and in Taiwan, I just want you to know, in Taiwan, CLIL is taught in subject classes. Are there English classes that adopt CLIL? I think there are some. It's called soft CLIL. Okay, but we'll go into that later. But I would like to stress that in Taiwan, in subject area classes, if it's taught through CLIL, taught through content, the language part is normally I think some professors demonized bottom-up approach in content classes. Okay, why? Because some professors think that in arts, PE, mathematics, or music class, we should not teach vocabulary first. And they said that if you're teaching vocabulary first, then that means you're teaching a language course. But this course, the science course, is a science course. We're not here to learn the science language only. So in science class, it should not be a bottom-up approach. Vocabulary should never be taught separately in a science CLIL class, okay? So, but for CBI, you need to know that CBI is normally adopted in a language course. So perhaps an English class. So there can be a dual focus with a top-down approach. And some of you think that students need to be able to have that level, otherwise they'll be silent most of the time. And top-down approach, yes, students might not be able to speak the top-down approach, yes, students might not be able to speak in the first month, but once they're attuned to the English class, the immersion, the language input, then they naturally acquire the language over time. So speaking is not like immediate, but it's, you have to have a certain amount of time of instruction in order for students to be ready to communicate and speak up in class. But also supported with the language focus, okay? All right, so CBI also stresses ZPD, and you all know ZPD is what? You're setting a goal that is like higher than what you currently are, and how do you reach that goal? By yourself? By your more capable peers or teachers through scaffolding, okay, so ZPD. So the distance between learners' actual development level and under adult guidance or with more capable peers there, they can reach their potential development level. All right, and we all know Dickel class and advanced organizer. One of my favorite advanced organizer is this, the Venn diagram, comparing CLIL to CBI, okay? And there's differences, but we don't have time to go over this. But through this Venn diagram, you will be able to know the difference and the similarity of CLIL and CBI. But this Venn diagram will have this activity after I've introduced you to CLIL in a different class. Okay. So language experience approach is you're telling me what your stories are, and I'll write it down on the approach. So the students come up with the story. And the process writing emphasis is on the draft and the drafting and the feedback, and then perhaps 2 to 3 different drafts, and that's emphasizing on the process instead of the product. Project-oriented writing would be submitting an assignment, and that's it. No feedback from the teacher. You don't need to revise your report. Dialogue journals are only for the teacher's role is to dialoguing with the students and reads the entry and writes a response focused strictly on meaning and the connection, but not deliberately correcting linguistic form. And I think this is a very good way to enhance students' writing fluency, so they're more willing to come up with using their own language to express. All right, the power of dual mastery, and that's CBI. And I do believe in content-based learning or content-based language teaching, or also CLIL. And that's basically this chapter. And hopefully, because you previewed it, you'll be able to have a deeper grasp of the method. And now it's the teaching time. And I'm running out of time. No, this isn't around, okay. And today's lesson is this. Okay, I'm actually teaching using science content for my CBI lesson, okay? So mold observation, and we're gonna do, it's all about molds. Where can you see molds? Where can you see molds? Melody? On the rock? On the rock? On the food? Yeah, anywhere else? Molds? Yes, Kevin?
On the wood.
On the wood, okay? On the wood. Woods, in the woods. Yes?
Roommate's pillow.
What? Roommate's pillow? Really? Dirty roommate? Building molds, yes? Yes?
On the laboratory. In the laboratory.
In the lab? In the lab? Anyone else? Hank? Some gloves. Some gloves. Thank you. So, take a look at this. Mold in the house. Right? Wow, on the windows, on the curtains. And this is actually my sister's friend's house, my friend Robert's house in the United States, in Seattle. It was terrible. It was all over the curtains, all over the ceiling. Oh my God, do you know what happened? So Robert, during the summer break, he went on a vacation, but he left something was dripping in the house, and the air conditioning wasn't on. So his house was very humid, and after 2 months when he went back, it became this. And it was like, this house is ruined. How do you clean up with all the molds in the house? And so I was like, so why are we studying mold? Why do we study mold? Yes?
The mold can be used in medicine.
Because mold can be used in medicine? Okay, I can know that. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Claire?
Prevent our house become bad.
That's right, to prevent our house becoming like very moldy. You need to know what creates mold, like what makes mold spread and all that, right? What's the condition where mold would grow, something like that. But for the same question, I asked this class of 6th grader, do you know what their answers are? They told me, 因为要考试啊. I was like, is that why you study mold? But I had to explain, what if your house becomes like this? Do you have mold in your bathroom? Okay, go back and observe. Is there mold in the bathroom? In the dormitory? Dormitory bathroom? No mold? Wow, very clean. Are you sure? No mold on the walls in the bathroom? Wow, super clean. Can you take a photo of the bathroom for me? I'll upload it on Dcard saying NTUE bathrooms are super clean. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, before I play this, how many of you we're comparing McDonald's to Burger King. Okay, burgers. How many of you prefer McDonald's burgers? Please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many of them prefer Burger King burgers? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What about the rest of you who didn't vote? You don't like burgers? No, if I were to treat you to burgers, which one would you pick?
Taco burger.
Taco burger. All right, so let me ask you, which Burger King and McDonald's burgers, which brand of burger is more healthier? What do you think? Okay, what do you think I prefer? Yeah, because I like it that the meat is the beef part is thicker, and also it's charcoal cooked, and that there's more lettuce and tomato. I think it's healthier. Okay, let's take a look at this. Wow, look at the Burger King burger. You know which part is Burger King, right? which is Burger King? The left or right? Left. 10 day. Day 10. Wow. Day 20. Oh my God. Day 32, 33. Look at McDonald's burger. What's happening? Day 48, we stopped the time lapse of the organic one. Another 40 days. For those who like McDonald's burger, if you want to defend, please try it. Let one burger sit in your dorm. Round 2. One burger infects the other one. So in the second trial, they were not divided separately. Ew! So what colors are the mold? Green, white, yellow, brown. Ew, this is disgusting. I hope it doesn't affect your appetite for lunch. Anyone? Burger King? That way. McDonald's? That way. Oh my God, this is gross. What are those? What are those? What are these things? What are they? What are they spreading out? Okay, and that's our burgers. All right, so the lesson is this. The thing that spreads out, I believe those are spores. And those spores are kept inside this sporangia. And sporangia is like a ball that holds up all the spores. And the spores, when they spread out, they germinate and, grow more molds. And this is the mold on a piece of bread. Okay, and these are sporangiums or sporangia spores. This is a stalk or sporangiophore and hyphae filaments. Okay, and remember the dictoclast. This is what we're gonna do. This is, and I have prepared this worksheets, and we're going to go over molds on a croissant. Please come up here and grab one, work in pairs. So one pair, one partner, one sheet. Please.
It's easier for me to spread it out, right? I'm not sure if there's enough for. I think there is enough. Pass it out. Pass it out.
To your partner. All right. So this is a paragraph introducing mold on a croissant. Okay. And please fill it out with your partner. I would like you, one person to hold the pen, the other person to read it out loud. So a person is the speaker, and a parent partner would be a writer. Someone writes, someone speaks. Okay? And then switch, take turns. After filling out one blank, I would like you to switch roles. Okay? For example, I would start off with, these croissants have been sitting out for a little over a month at blank temperature. Okay? And then after this, you switch. Okay? Raise your hand if you're the speaker. Raise your hand if you're the speaker. I would like to see at least 20 hands. Speaker and your speaker. Okay, thank you. All right, time's up. I am going to play this video, but please circle the vocabulary that you are not sure of how to pronounce, and make sure you know how to pronounce them after watching the video. Okay? Also, you could make sure there are 7 blanks. Perhaps one person could be responsible for 4 and one person could be responsible for 3, so that you have a focus. Also, I would like you to tell me how molds spread, and what are the why do molds come in different colors? Okay? All right, why do molds come in different colors? Are you ready?
These croissants have been sitting out for a little over a month at room temperature, turning into a fertile landscape for what appears to be a zygomycete mold species. Zygomycetes produce sporangia, which are these spherical structures supported by sporangiophores, the stalk-looking structures. Sporangia are part of their reproductive cycle, each one filled with spores ready for dispersal. Think of sporangia as tiny balloons sitting on top of slender sticks where each balloon is packed with spores ready to pop and spread out like dandelion seeds in the wind. They mainly reproduce asexually by releasing these spores, allowing them to multiply without needing another individual. However, zygomycetes can also resort to sexual reproduction, forming zygospores during tough times or when conditions aren't ideal. These zygospores act like protective armor, tougher against harsher environments, though this method isn't their go-to strategy for multiplying. The most common kinds of zygomycotomolds that grow on bread are mucor, rhizopus, and absidia, which all produce and release spores through their sporangia. You may have noticed that there are various different colored and sized sporangia, which could either indicate different species or the same species, just in a different stage of its life. Young sporangia are typically smaller and almost translucent or colorless due to the low concentration of spores, while the mature ones are larger and typically dark in color, indicating they are almost ready to release their spores. The final color of adult sporangia can range from gray, black, brown, and other shades, depending on the species, environmental conditions, and the specific pigments produced. Identifying the exact genus and species of mold can be really tricky, to say the least, without special tools. Just by looking, you can't tell for sure which mold it is because many different kinds can appear similar in shape, size, and color. To know for certain, you need to do things like use special stains to see details under a microscope or send a sample to a lab for DNA testing, which can get expensive. That being known, I grabbed some with my tweezers so we can observe some samples at an even higher magnification under a microscope.
Okay, the following part is not in the both test, but I would like you to take a look at what the following content is.
Most of the sporangia burst open and began releasing spores all around the slide, which are the spherical and ovoid-shaped objects on the screen. Depending on the species, each sporangium at maturity could potentially contain thousands, if not tens of thousands of spores that are all ready to reproduce when the conditions are just right. Here are some clips of the stalks or sporangiophores up close, and you can...
What is this? Sporangia.
You see tons of spores wrapped around or stuck to the sides of them. While these spores are microscopic and primarily designed for reproduction, they can still pose a risk if inhaled or if they enter through an open wound. Certain species like...
When would it be risky? Inhaled or through wounds? If you have a cut in your finger and if you grab the mold on a piece of bread, and you will be infected.
Rhizopus or mucor are known to cause mucormycosis, a fungal infection where spores can invade tissues where they then germinate and develop into hyphae. These are the thread-like structures that make up the body of the mold, functioning like roots or branches, allowing the fungus to grow and absorb nutrients. These filamentous fungal threads can invade tissues, especially our blood vessels, resulting in conditions such as necrosis, thrombosis, and infarction.
Wow. Tissue deterioration, necrosis, thrombosis, blood clot, infarction, tissue deterioration.
Which are primarily responsible for the damage seen in mucormycosis. I've chosen not to display the images of infection due to their graphic nature, and viewer discretion is advised if you choose to look further on your own. I can, however, show you what they look like on a microscopic level. And
are you okay to look further? Yeah. No? Yes. If you don't want to look, then that's fine.
These are some images I found online of tissue samples that are infected with mucormycosis. These samples under a microscope show us the hyphae of the fungus inside various tissues. They're the red branching structures extending throughout the sample. The colors you see come from
So these are the hyphae inside the tissues.
Staining methods that highlight the fungal elements and other biological cells more clearly. It's worth noting that for the majority of people, the risk of getting sick from these common bread molds is very low. Your body is actually equipped to handle exposures daily without any adverse effects, given the...
Is it safe to, when you see mold on a piece of bread, to throw it away with your bare hands?
Yeah.
No. It is safe because you your body immune system is okay with it handling it, perhaps through grabbing it, using a tissue and wash your hands with soap afterwards. But if you have cuts on in your hand, then you have to watch out.
Concentration isn't extreme. In fact, we breathe in mold spores almost on a daily basis.
We breathe in mold spores on a daily basis.
Without even realizing it. For those with a compromised immune system, it might be better to take extra precautions, but even then, the infection rate is still pretty low. That being said, I'm still wearing some PPE like a respirator, gloves, eye protection, and a long sleeve shirt to safely admire these organisms.
These are the safety gears to observe the microbe.
If there's any other mold experiments you'd like to see, just let me know down in the comments below. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.
Do you enjoy this video? No? It's very informative. I like it. What do you mean no? Okay, so basically what is the first one? At room temperature. And then they mainly what? Reproduce asexually. And then, however, how do you pronounce these? Zygomyces. Okay, can resort to what kind of reproduction? Forming zygospores, sexual reproduction, okay? And then all produce and release what? Through their sporangia? Spores. So they're in, what are inside the sporangia? Spores, okay? And then different species. Tell me, what colors do you observe in the mold in this video? What colors do you see? Okay, what are the differences? Why are there differences in colors? Raise your hand. No, share your answer with your partner first. Why are there different colors? Without reading the script. Without reading the script, why are there different colors? Without reading the script. All right. Time's up. Volunteers, who can tell me why are there different colors? Jeremy.
They are in different stages of life.
Because they are sometimes because when they are in different stages of life. Okay, other people with different answer? Jack, would you like to?
Same.
Same? Okay, Grace.
With different environment and different
The different pigments produced in different species of different kinds of mold. How do we know that they're different or the same? They're just in different stages of life. How could we possibly know if they're the same mold or a different mold? Look it up in the microscope? If you can look it up in the microscope and tell the difference, that they're different molds, then you would be an expert in this. Yes, what does the paragraph tell you?
DNA testing.
Yeah, perhaps do DNA testing and further testing. Okay, it's in the last part of the paragraph where it says, exact genus and species of the mold can be very tricky to say at the least. To know with certainty, you need to do things such as a special stain to see details under the microscope, yes. If you're an expert, and then, or send samples to the lab for DNA testing, okay? Both are correct. So basically for content-based instruction, as you can see that we are learning a lot of knowledge through through this activity. not dicto class, but dicto class would be me reading out loud and you piecing it together on your own. So that's not dicto class, but through this passage. But we don't have time for dicto class, but what I would like you to see is this part is me introducing. Okay, so I would say, if I were to prepare a mold on a piece of bread and let you observe it, what would your prediction be? What would you see on that piece of mold? Say if I purchased a Burger King burger and let it sit for the past month, if I purchased it on February 1st, and right now I'm bringing my Burger King burger, moldy one, to you for your observation, what would you, please predict what would you see? What do you think you would see? Okay, so make some prediction using these vocabulary, perhaps, anyone? Burger King burger, that sat for 30 days. Yes, Peggy?
Green, white, and fuzzy.
Green, white, and fuzzy, yes. Sorry, I forgot your name. Eve, yes, Eve.
Also green sports. Green fuzzy sports.
Green and fuzzy? Green and fuzzy, okay, good. Nobody smooth? Not slimy? No? Would you see spores? No? No? You can't see spores? Okay. Okay, so this is the observation tool. You need a mold sample from my burger, and perhaps I will hand out a mobile microscope, and then you can use an iPad or your own phone to observe it. Put the mold in a Petri dish and using a tweezer to take out the mold sample. And these are the procedure. Number one, what is number one? Let's answer them together. Use tweezers to get mold from bread. Number two, put the mold sample on a Petri dish. Number three, take your mobile microscope out. Number four, attach the microscope on iPad camera. Open the camera app. Bring your iPad camera close to the mold. Number seven, and I looking at the screen and taking a picture. Number eight. Yes, observe and write down what you see, okay? So pretend that you have done this observation, and this is a sample of the written report. I would like you to select, go for the video. If you can go to YouTube, look up the moldy bread under microscope. I would like you to pause in one screen, and on the worksheet that you have, I would like right here, I would like you to draw what you observe under the microscope. Okay? Draw it. I would like the both of you to do the drawing. Okay? And this is the reporting structure. Say you are a 6th grader in the elementary school, I would like you to report. But when you are doing the observation, while you are doing the observation, when you see this, what should you say within your partner? Any volunteer? Who else have not spoken today? You will need points. Anyone? Sean? I see. Because we're discussing what you see. So you use present tense. You see. You see green spores. I think these are not spores. I think they are sporangia. Yeah, and yeah, what color are they? Green? Dark green? In the background? Dark green in the background? How come I see yellow? Am I colorblind? Oh, these are green. And these are yellowish? Green, yellowish? And these are white, right? I also see white ones. But I think that those are sporangia. Okay? Okay, another volunteer. Another volunteer? Ellen, you're good at science. You're only good at chemistry. Maddie sunk at chemistry. Okay, who's science major? Jenny? Jenny, what do you see?
I see
Green sporangia?
and yellow.
Yellow? Do you think these are sporangia? I think these are spores. These are actually spores. Sporangia keep them together, and then after it's the observer uses a tweezer and put it under the microscope, so the sporangia, the spores inside the sporangia spread it out. So these are spores. And what about this? Yeah, hyphae or sporangia spores. Okay, something like the stalk. All right, so.
Blood vessels.
All right, after you're drawing, please look for one, and then when you observe, share your thought in present tense. But after your discussion should be in present tense because I see something. But later on, when I would like you to come up to the stage and record it, your report should be in past tense, and this is the sentence frame. Today, under the microscope, I saw some mold on a croissant, right? Piece of bread. A piece on a. I'm sorry, this should not be on a piece of bread. This should not be plain. On the mold, there were what? And then I also saw what? And it looked what? Okay, so these are all reporting in past tense because our observation is in it. Show the whole class your drawings of that one observation from the video, okay? I am going to only give you 3 minutes. I'm only going to give you 3 minutes. Hurry up. Include the drawing, including your drawing. Hurry up. Do the drawing first. Do the drawing first. Someone draw, someone writes the report. If you need color pencils, I have it here. All right. Please take a picture and upload it onto week 2. Make sure you put down your study partner names who completed this sheet. Put your names down on the worksheet too. Okay. All right, today it's, we're covering a lot in this class. All right, please, the following task is the CPI observation and reflection. So please go to page 139, reviewing the principles. There are 9 principles or 9 questions. I would like you to answer these 10 questions based on your experience as student after you've experienced my teaching of the mold lesson using CBI, okay? And it's a group effort, not just your study partners, because your presentation group needs to come together and write it down. The first, number one is, so please copy and paste and put down your group name, okay? And then in the blanks, number one is, what are the goals of the teacher who used CBI, which is my goals, okay? What did you experience in the class? Okay, number two, what is the role of the teacher and what is the role of the students? Number three, what are some characteristics of the teaching and learning process? Number four, what is the nature of student-teacher interaction and what is the nature of student-student interaction? Number five, how are the feelings of the students dealt with? Number six, how is the language viewed? And how is culture viewed? And for this one, culture in my CBI class, on the mold class, what I told you was I brought an example of a moldy house, moldy apartment in the United States. And the condition where the mold was was observed. Number seven, what areas of language are emphasized? What do you think in the past, in that lesson, what areas or what language skills are emphasized? What is the role of the student's native language? How does the teacher respond to students' errors? Remember, I invited a couple students to share their observation and what kind of corrections did I provide? And that's it, 10. 1 to 10. So I would like you to, within your group, to perhaps spread up the work, okay, and then come together and discuss and reflect. And this is also a preparation for your quiz, okay? So let's go. You have 10 minutes only, 10 minutes. Your presentation group. Remember to say it first and then write it. Make sure the whole group is on the same page. For example, if I'm responsible for 1 and 2, just briefly answer it, and then 3 and 4, and then after your confirmation, you can start typing. Okay? Make sure everybody's on the same page and that you agree on that thought. It's a group work, group effort. I need, write down your name if you're responsible for that question. Okay? Sign your name by your answer. Any questions? It should be based on my teaching. Okay, based on my teaching. Not from the book, based on my teaching. Okay?
先自己打下来。
我先看一下其他的。
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You go first. Answer the first one.
What are those who use CDI?
Well, what are the girls who use CDI?
Dual. Oh, doesn't have to be more, a full response, or it could be a short answer.
It could be a short answer, but based on my lesson. Hold on a piece of bread.
Oh, well,
Yeah, based on my teaching, hold on a piece of bread lesson. What is the goal of the teacher? For me, did I cover both content and language? Which part did I cover content? Which part did I cover language? Right? Don't type first. Explain your answers first. What areas of language? Reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Grammar. What areas of language? The 4 skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening, or in vocabulary, or in grammar. 6, 7 areas. Which areas are emphasized? Question? I like GTM because they put the names first and then their answers, their comments. That way I know who has said what. only alone? Or your group member? And your partner, do you need help? You only have 2 people. No, actually, this is not good. We're supposed to go through review the principles right here, this one. Not TPR, the CBI one. You have the CBI one? But it's the same, it's the same. So which one are you on?
She's working on number 3 now.
Okay. Number 3, what's the number 3? What do you think the teaching and learning process is? The teaching process is I did a user research after 1 month so that you guys, it's more connected to your lives, and then gives you, and then it shows the picture of me and the housework with the charges. And then we went through what are molds, and then passage to understand the molds, and then after observation, drawing tables and reporting the mold that you observe off of. So as a student, what are your learnings process? How do you think, what do you think of this whole process? How helpful is it? Okay, so number 4, student-teacher interaction. Do you think there's student-teacher interactions? I interacted with the whole group, but I did not interact with individual students enough, right? But then, so I was asking questions and we were actually volunteering some answers, right? And, but students did not initiate an interaction with the teacher. Okay? But student-student interaction was ensured that through filling out the worksheet, right? And also the writing down the observations and the recording. So that's student interaction. Right? Did I deal with your feelings? Not. That's true. I was overall pressuring and covering the lesson, and I didn't care whether or not you get it or not. Okay, right? So, how is language viewed? Did I focus on bottom up or top down approach?
The meta was English compared to Japanese students. So I think in this course, culture is the more showing this.
So basically, culture, the culture part of the mold, I brought up 2 examples. One is Burger King, and food is culture, right? Part culture. Burger King and McDonald's, but also I've also brought in a U.S. moldy house, because you would never see that in Taiwan, right? Okay, so culture is not taught separately, but included into my lesson by using these examples. Okay, and language, I think it's approach to language is the top down. I do not teach you the grammar or the vocabulary separately. Something like that. All right. Are you guys ready? Questions? Max? Do you have questions? Or you just stretching? Okay.
I know this is like but I'm not quite
The content determines what language is worked on, so areas of language. Perhaps for example, in terms of this lesson, I think I focused on tenses during your observation and then past tense during your reporting. Okay, so yeah. And also I've worked on the pronunciation because I wanted you to highlight the words that you don't know how to pronounce. Yeah. Yay. Virtual high five. All right. Okay, please go back to your seats. Okay, it's 11:45. That means we have 5 minutes to go over this and 10 minutes for the quiz. Okay. So number 1, what are the goals of the teacher who used CPI? Volunteer. Yes, Laura.
Both language and for teachers language is to learn about modes, and then common goal is learn part of mode and how they are different.
Yeah, learn parts of the molds and also the different colors of the molds and what do they stand for. Number 2, what is the role of the teacher and what is the role of the student? Volunteer. Please volunteer for your group, please. Study partner. Who would like to say this? Yes, Shane.
The teacher part gives students some text to let them process the modes, and the student part should actively participate in tasks.
Okay. I provided the text so that you know the different parts of the mold, but also I provided any other one? Anyone else would like to add on to that? Okay, so but I also provided video. So I think the visuals are very important. I provided 2 videos, the time lapse of different burgers and also the observation. And I also focus on content objective. My content objective would be what? You knowing that there are different parts of the molds, there are spores, sporangiums, and I corrected somebody, I forgot who I corrected, that, oh, it was Jenny, that those are not sporangias, but those were spores, okay? So I covered content language when I corrected Jenny's observation, but I corrected language when I corrected Sean when he reported using past tense because his observation should be in present tense. So I covered both language objectives. Number 3, what are some characteristics of the teaching process? We're going to skip this one because it's a long one. Okay, no matter who could answer this one very quickly. Come on, you put it down. Your answers are correct. Yes, Max.
Using authentic topics like mold, instead of just teaching the vocabulary and memorizing the content. And also the communication in student-teacher interaction and student-student interaction.
Okay, because I both taught to the whole group, but I also put you into groups. Very good, thank you. Number 4. Oh, so that was the number 4. You also answered number 4, Max? Okay, number 4, what is the nature of student-teacher interaction and the nature of student-student interaction? Who can say that? Okay, Jenny.
Teacher guides student understanding question about where the next student born or what color is it?
Yeah, I like that question. And
teacher also give students scaffolding for them to learn. And
did I provide scaffolding?
like where did you do more?
Oh yeah, okay. Thank you. That's a good comment. All right, your comments are so positive. You should be critical. Okay? Thank you. You don't have to be all very positive, but start from positive. I love positive ones. What about the nature of student-student interaction? Anyone else? Volunteers? Student-student interaction. Yes, Jeremy.
Number 4.
No, still number 4, student-student interaction. What do you feel when you were engaged in this? What the student-student interaction?
Excited. I feel excited while brainstorming with my study partner.
Really? Thank you.
Because it offers me a lot of interesting insight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else who has a negative experience with a student-student interaction? Nobody? Everybody's very positive? Okay, number 4. How are feelings of the students dealt with? Melody.
I think it may be hard at first, but with the word bank and the flows, I can get what this topic is more easy.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Although it's very difficult at first, but with a lot of more video and the exercise, you understand better. So positive. Anyone else? Jack, I thought you had a negative review. Come on, share it.
Oh, why?
Didn't you say? Come on, the feelings of the students.
The feelings of the students. Very good.
He's lying. Because when I was in his group, he would say, oh, you did not deal with our feelings. And I said, true. I had to go over the content so fast, I didn't care about whether or not you were learning it or whether or not you have anxiety completing the worksheets or not, right? So I should have given you more care and more scaffolding and walk about the classroom, making sure you understand. So that's something that I did not do very well, okay? So you need to be, sometimes criticism is good for a person, okay? So we as a class, we open up for constructive criticism so that we can improve, all right? So you don't need to put down everything very positively, okay? Number 6, how is the language viewed? How is culture viewed? Hands, there.
Show the pictures of the houses and connect our experience.
Use language too, okay. So yeah, you are immersed in the English language to know how to observe moles, right? Thank you. Anyone else? How is culture viewed? Did I provide cultural aspect in this multi-lesson? Or neglected? Yes, Melody.
I think the culture view is like to give us a video and picture about a malt house or a burger.
Yeah, exactly, because food is part of our culture and the living is part of our culture. I have provided burger, McDonald's and Burger King burger, so it connects to your life, right? Because you guys do eat Burger King burgers, right? And McDonald's burgers. Now that you know, McDonald's burgers never get moldy. So that's part of culture that I've incorporated into the lesson, okay? Number 7, what areas of language are emphasized? What language skills are emphasized? Grace. Listening, speaking, and vocabulary. Thank you, very good. Anyone else who disagrees with Grace or would like to add? I only only emphasize listening, speaking, and vocabulary. Hank.
And when we're watching videos, we need to check our pronunciation.
Very good, thank you. Although I didn't actually check it. You could criticize me. Professor Jane, you said check the pronunciation, but you did never check the whole class. So this is something that I missed. Very good. What else? I only emphasize on these. Did I focus on grammar? No? No?
Yeah.
Come on! Yes? Tenses. I focused on tenses. Right? When I observed, I asked Sean to express in present tense because you're observing. And what about reporting? In past tense. So I did go over, but it's integrated into the lesson. Without me going over, this is a pen. I see a mold. I saw a mold for 10 times, right? That's ALM, audiolingual method, with repetition. I did not do that. Number 8, what is the role of students' native language? Nobody answers it?
Native language not really plays a role in this.
Yeah, I did not. Well, you guys, were you discussing in Chinese?
Sometimes.
A little bit. But when you were reporting in class, what language was that?
We use English.
Yeah. So it's okay to discuss in Chinese within small groups, but when you report in the whole class, you use English, okay? Number 9, what is the evaluation? How is the evaluation accomplished? Hurry. Sean.
Worksheet and close.
Test, very good. Worksheet and closed test, but also formative assessment is me asking you to observe, say out loud what you've observed, and that's formative assessment. Number 10, how does the teacher respond to students' errors? Laura, Hank. Okay, you go first and then Hank.
Like, there's a student just mistaken sports from sporangia, and teacher just explain what's the difference between those two things, and then students can self-correct and then know the answer.
Okay, thank you. And Hank?
Instead of denying students, and teachers always list out the good part of what students talk and correct one for them.
Oh, very good observation. I have always provided a positive note and then provided my correction using VCast. Okay, thank you. And that's it. So it's 12 o'clock and I usually don't delay. So our quiz would be
Cancel.
No, I would provide this quiz as homework so that you know what the format is, okay? What the format is. So so you can practice in your own time and you can practice until perfect. So multiple times. But next week, the following week, the quiz would be in class. But now that you know this is the routine of the class, I've spent a longer time in doing this because there was more interaction, and also ensuring that you know the process of the whole class. Please provide your quizzes and presentations. And I did not. I would like to teach you how to generate PowerPoints using Notebook LM, okay? I generated the slides within 1 minute. No, I actually worked for 2 hours because I included my cute avatar into the slides. But I would like you to use Notebook LM to create your slides so that you don't need to create it yourself, okay? And you use Notebook LM to create the quiz for you as well, so that you don't need to come up with a quiz. But you need to practice until you know all the answers to the quiz, and also provide a lesson planning PowerPoint, just like I prepared for the mold of the bread teaching demo. This is exactly the same process that you will be presenting for your group presentation. Okay? Any questions? You can keep the sheets because you uploaded the other side of the sheet, right? Also, next week, our class is at 9:30, right? But we need to meet here 9 o'clock and then walk over together. Our class starts at 9 o'clock. Really? No? Okay. All right, so how about this? How about you get familiar with the assessment sheets? I provided the assessment sheets already, right? Because you need to write those down and give it back to Teacher Ann, okay? And in the discussion part, feedback to Teacher Ann, I would like you to provide positive feedback, positive observation. No criticism for Teacher Ann. No criticism. Okay? But if you have questions, you can say, I wonder if this could be done a different way. Use I wonder, okay? But no criticism, okay? Volunteer sharing also, I will increase the points to 3 points for each volunteer because I would like you to actively participate in the feedback session. All right? All right, see you next week. What time is the teaching demo? 9:30? Fuxiao, we're meeting 9:20. We're meeting 9:20. I'm not sure it's 9:20. Check the Discord. I need to make sure you arrive. 9:30 is the start, so we need to be there ahead of time. Okay.
9:25 is the 报道.
Okay. So let's meet at 9:15. Okay. 9:15. No, not here. In front of Fuxia. Front gate. Remember, attire, white shirt. Blue jeans is okay. Did I say blue jeans? Oh, I said black. Oh, please look for black jeans is okay. It's white and black.
Okay.
White and black. Anyone without black jeans? Black pants? You don't have black?
Jeans. I have jeans.
Jeans or black pants? White shirt. Anything white. Anything white. Yeah? It should be, yeah. White t-shirt is okay. With things, it's even better. But the color is okay. No, but it's okay. See you next week. Thank you.